Hello guys, it's Dino22 and welcome to Sweep Saturday. What we have here is one of my favorite Pokemon from back in the day has made his reappearance in 6th Gen, and that is the Girafarig, which you are seeing. And I got too excited and I couldn't wait for the lower tiers to come out to use it, so I decided to start taking some battles with it the other night. Uh, And basically what we have is 4 things that would like to receive a baton pass from Girafarig, and then Fortress for some hazard control. And so, it's kind of just, let's see which Pokemon I can get a sweep with team. Uh, just so you know, there were some failures involved with this expedition. There were some battles in which I got crushed when Girafarig is the key to your team. But let's look at today's members. We have Fortress, who's the same Fortress I've been using. It's actually not mine. It's something I got off Wonder Trade. It has 4 perfect IVs, which is something that's kind of typical for Wonder Trade. But the ones it doesn't have is special attack and speed, and I'm like, well, I mean, you don't want speed on Fortress when you have Gyro Ball, and I'm not using any special attacks. So instead of breeding it, I just took it as is, I trained it into a Fortress, and that's the story of Fortress. Dragonite is a new member of our team. Um, this requires some backstory as well. Back before I even got into competitive, blah 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 blah. Too far into the intro for me to cut that out, so we're just going with it. Back in the days before I even played competitive Pokemon, Soul Silver came out, and I was already done with Pokemon at that point. I had grown past Pokemon. I didn't like 4th Gen at all. You'll notice if you pay that much attention to my videos, which you probably don't, I have never used a 4th Gen Pokemon in any of my videos. I've actually also never used a 5th Gen Pokemon in any of my videos, but I wouldn't be entirely opposed to a couple of them. They're just too low on the priority for me to actually breed them. But Soul Silver came out, and Silver was my first game, and I was all over Soul Silver. I bought a DS, I got Soul Silver, one of the greatest Pokemon experiences of my life. Got me into Pokemon again. And that's how I actually got into this whole competitive crap. But something I found out, sadly, was if you get the Dratini from the special Dratini from the Dragon's Den, and it has extreme speed, you can only breed it if it's male, and I didn't know that because I wasn't into competitive Pokemon at the time. And I was like, oh sweet, a Dratini, I'll take that, blah blah blah. And then I was like, I wonder if you can breed it and get more extreme speed. And it turns out you can. Like, oh, bummer. And then it turns out you can, just not with a female one. So I cried about that for a while. Fast forward in time, I lost my Soul Silver, so I couldn't even use the one extreme speed Dratini I had. Fast forward more in time to very recently, and my brother found my Soul Silver, and not only that, but in 6th Gen, females can now baton pass not baton pass, they can breed egg moves. So after going all of 5th Gen without being able to access Extreme Speed Dragonite, I now have fully bred and IV'd and EV'd Extreme Speed Dragonite. The one thing is I didn't know what set I wanted to use because I generally run Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Dragon Claw on my Dragonites, and I really just couldn't afford to give up any of that coverage in my mind. So I was trying to figure out a set that Extreme Speed fits onto, and the most obvious answer is a Choice Band set, but I didn't really want to be that guy and use Choice Band Dragonite. I mean, maybe I will at some point. The other obvious answer that I completely forgot about, and you will see in the future, is Weakness Policy Dragonite, which I need to get myself one of. You should really have like 5 Dragonites if you want to use Dragonite, because Dragonite has like an infinite move pool and it's really awesome. But this one is Assault Vest Dragonite, because I was looking through Dragonite's move pool and it gets Power Up Punch, and Power Up Punch is basically just please use an Assault Vest on this Pokemon move for anything that has it in its move pool. So I thought, you know what, that's gonna be cool. It's like Gudra, only it's Dragonite. So that's that. Then we have Ursaring here because it's Guts, and if you can pass Agility to Guts Ursaring, you can have a lot of fun. Typhlosion because I love Typhlosion. It's my favorite Pokemon. This is actually the first, I just realized based on the timing here of this video, this will be the first Pokebank stuff that you will see me using. So yeah, if you're new here, Typhlosion is my favorite, and it goes on all of my teams I can fit it on. I replaced Mega Charizard Y with Typhlosion, even though Mega Charizard Y is so much better, and now I don't have a Mega on all my teams, which puts me at a disadvantage, because Megas are so much more powerful than just regular Pokemon, especially when you're using not OU Pokemon like I am. And then that leads us to our special Draft Rig, custom made for Typhlosion in my first team ever. And I'm bringing it back this gen because it's one of my, like, I kind of always like Draft Rig because it's second gen and it's cool and it's unique. It's not something you see very often. But then once I started actually using it in battle, I definitely developed more of a connection with Draft Rig than usual. And then lastly, we have a Clamperl. I've never used a Clamperl in battle before, but it's really fun. I've never used a Clamperl in Wi-Fi battle, I should clarify. I have used it some on Showdown. On a team that I might bring back too, because that team was a lot of fun, and I never uploaded any videos with that. So you might see that team in the future. But I had a Clamperl, and I had a Deep Sea too, and this was back when I didn't really know what to breed before Pokemon Bank came out, so I bred a Clamperl. It's been sitting in my box, and I looked at my team, and I'm like, you know what, if we're going to play Baton Pass Speed to slow powerful things, let's bring the Clamperl. Let's see what we can do with the Clamperl. And looking at his team, not much. We should have known. But that's not going to deter us. We're going to go into this battle, and we're going to see what we can accomplish. Alright, so let's kick this off. We've got Tim here issuing a challenge, which you can't see because this quality decides to just be dumb as crap. But he's going to lead with Greninja, as I lead with Fortress, because, you know, Stealth Rocks seemed like a good idea at the time, and that's because they are. There's never a time when Stealth Rocks aren't a good idea, pretty much, unless you have another attack you should be using, but Stealth Rocks, okay, if they have one Pokemon left, Stealth Rocks are a bad idea. Let's make that point. But luckily, he doesn't have Taunt. I don't know if Greninja can have Taunt, but I'm pretty sure it can. It's not something you see very often, though, so I just go for the Stealth Rocks. He U-turns out, which is kind of expected. Luckily, it's not going to do enough to the point where I'm not back up to Sturdy after leftovers. So I pretty much get a free Stealth Rock at the expense of him having Arcanine in, which I notice is a problem because everything else in my team is offensive. So I don't really have anything to take hits from Arcanine. I decided, sadly as sad can be, that Typhlosion was going to have to be sacked here, because as long as he has Blissey around, Typhlosion can't really do much in this battle. So I'm just going to switch him in to take the fire attack. He gets a Crit Flare Blitz, which almost kills me. I decided to go for Focus Blast, and it surprisingly hits, which is nice. He's going to go for another Flare Blitz. It's not going to take himself out to recoil. But the fact that he went for another Flare Blitz instead of like Extreme Speed or anything else kind of made me feel like he was choice banded. And so since he's locked into a fire attack, I thought maybe Clamperl would have an opportunity to set up a Shell Smash here. And I managed to scare him out, which is the greatest thing ever. So I get a free Shell Smash as he goes into Blissey, who's like the only thing in all of OU that can't one-hit KO a Clamperl. So I've got that going for me. I get the Shell Smash, which is great. He's got Blissey in here. And so I feel like if I go for a substitute, I should be pretty good. Because Blissey doesn't generally carry that much offensive firepower. I don't have enough HP to where Seismitoss won't break my subs. But I was kind of expecting a Thunder Wave here, maybe. He goes for Toxic, which is, you know, the same idea, which is great. And so now I'm behind a substitute with a Clamperl, which generally would be a great position when you got the Shell Smash already up. But I know in OU that +2 Clamperl is just not fast enough. So I decided to go for yet another Shell Smash, because I know Gengar for sure can outspeed me at +2, but I figured once I get to +4, you know, this is it. This is gonna be Clamperl going to town on some OU, which is probably the greatest thing you have ever thought that could exist. But that's what we've got here. I go for the Surf because I don't at -2, even though I resist it and Blissey's got horrible special attack. I wasn't sure how well I could take Flamethrower, and it turns out +4 Stab Surf from Clamperl with Deep Sea Tooth. I don't know whether I should be impressed by how much damage that does to Chansey, or if I should be appalled that it didn't kill anything that it's neutral to. Like, the amount of special attack Clamperl has right now I mean, it's basically ×6 of its whatever its actual stat is, which is more than +4 can even get you to. So I'm ready to sweep him with Clamperl, but sadly that is not what Sweep Saturday is going to be today. I was really hoping I was going to clean out his team with +4 Clamperl, and then he just switches into his already dead thing, and then he just goes for Psyshock and it kills me. Because I've got Ice Beam, I'm like, done, Latios, you're done. But he Scarf, he outspeeds me and he kills me, which is the most depressing thing I've probably ever had happen in my Pokebattle career. But since I know he's Scarfed, because there's no other way he can outspeed a +4 Clamperl. If he had a base 110 Scarfer, other than that, and plus I'm modest. If I had been timid, I actually would have outsped him, but it's obviously meant for use in lower tiers where nothing is quite that fast. But he goes into Blissey again as his answer to Draft Root, which is great because I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about this Draft Rig is no one expects it coming because it's the dumbest set ever. And you would think that Blissey would be great for taking special attacks, but I don't have any special attacks. So I'm going to set up a sub to block the Toxic, but unfortunately he goes for Softball, which lets him know that he can't go for a Toxic, otherwise I could have got a free turn. So I'm just going to go for Calm Minds because I don't want his Flamethrowers to be able to break my subs. But he already sees that this isn't going well. I mean, I guess maybe he predicted me to have Calm Mind, or maybe he just figured the fact that I was staying in was a hint that I wasn't afraid of him. So it's possible I could have had Psyshock as well. But he's going to go into Mega Garchomp, which is unfortunate because it can easily destroy my substitute. I was really hoping he was going to give me more time to set up. But now I do get a Baton Pass, this +2 speed, and this Calm Mind into something, which is dumb because I don't have any special attackers. But I do have a... I do get the special defense boost. And I was debating whether to go into Ursaring or Dragonite, because basically if I don't get a sweep here, I lose. And I decided to go into Dragonite on the off chance he Earthquake, because he's got an Earthquake with Dragon Claw. I was a little bit concerned because I wasn't sure if I could Oko the Garchomp. I didn't want him breaking my sub and then hitting me with a Stab Dragon move. That's why I kind of want to go to Ursaring. But just the fact that I could maybe dodge the Earthquake and keep the sub was what I really wanted. And which gives me the opportunity to go for Power Up Punch, because I know after +1 Dragon Claw will easily KO the Garchomp. And I also kind of chose to go into Dragonite because there's no Toxic Orb, so I can attempt my sweep without being worn down. And so yeah, since I Baton Passed a Calm Mind, I kind of enticed him into going to Blissey to kind of maybe bait him into thinking I was a special attacker, but it was just me not having any special attackers left to go to. Since I'm at +2 speed, I'm able to outspeed it in Dragon Claw. I was really afraid it was gonna be like Scarf Destiny Bond, but since this is Scarfed, it was kind of opposite. That was gonna be Scarfed. Even at +2, it shouldn't be a surprise that this Scarf thing's gonna outspeed me since it outsped the +4 Clamperl, and this thing doesn't have any speed investment. But he misses the Draco, which makes no difference because I have a substitute up and I have +1 special defense, Assault Vest, multi-scale Dragonite. So he was never, ever, ever going to be able to kill me in a million years. And the fact that I killed him with Dragon Claw in one hit wasn't even that big a deal because I had extreme speed. So yeah, the only thing left on his team was Greninja and the Garchomp, and I was just gonna extreme speed the Greninja. I still had the substitute up, so there was no hope. But even if he had managed to hit the Draco and break my substitute, I easily could have extreme speeded and slash lived in Ice Beam, and +2 Dragon Claw would have destroyed Garchomp. So that's the end of that battle with Sweep Saturday. That's the first time I ever used that Dragonite, and he got a sweep, which is cool. I was so convinced I finally got him with that +4 Clamperl, because I had Stealth Arc Step, so nothing he had left could have a sash, and I'd killed the Arcanine, so he couldn't extreme speed me, and I thought I had it. Although if he had Water Shuriken on Greninja, he also could have stopped me. But that's that, and I hope you enjoyed, and I at least have one more of these for next week. Other than that, I don't know if it's going to be a thing. Maybe. It'll show up when it shows up. Have a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed back-to-back uploads. See you later.